The kitchen clock ticks past midnight. You sit at the table surrounded by envelopes and half-drunk coffee, the glow of the laptop painting numbers across your face. You have carried this weight for years: late fees, missed opportunities, quiet shame at family gatherings when money becomes the subject. A soft knock at the door breaks the rhythm. You open it to find a familiar face from a different life, a mentor who has walked this path, eyes steady, voice calm. You've struggled long enough, they say, as if reading the ledger inside your ribs. The hero inside you is ready. You almost laugh at the word hero. It feels grand, distant, undeserved. Inside, a smaller voice insists, I'm not one of those people. I failed before. The mentor leans in, placing a single old coin on the table, worn, warm, an emblem of what's been waiting. This isn't about magic, they tell you. It's about alignment, thought, feeling, and action arranged toward the same intent. It's about learning to feel worthy of steady prosperity, not just an occasional windfall. As the dawn light gathers, they guide you through a gentle ritual. Breathe into the sensation of being supported, name 3 small things you could change today, let go of one story that says you are unworthy. The camera follows your hands as you write the first intention on a scrap of paper, the words deliberate and soft. You feel something shift, not dramatic, but palpable, a slight easing behind the sternum, like a door unlatched. You are invited to step out of frustration into possibility. The mentor speaks of vibrations, not as mystical jargon, but as the emotional weather that either attracts or repels abundance. Money moves toward clarity and calm, they say. We will teach you to steady your inner climate and to act in small, repeatable ways that build momentum. If this resonates, gently tap like and join the conversation below. What is your biggest financial pain? Stay with this journey, subscribe if you want the steady, practical map ahead. In the next chapter, you will cross the threshold from wanting to doing. We'll confront the first inner trial that keeps money at bay and place the first stones on your path to lasting wealth. You step across the threshold into a room that smells faintly of old paper and coffee, the kind of place where practical wisdom lives. A single lamp throws a warm arc over a wooden table where your mentor sits, steady and unhurried. He watches you with the same compassion he would show a friend carrying a heavy load, then gestures for you to sit. You are not broken, he says, voice low and certain. You are misaligned. Let's give your life a new frequency. He begins with something small but decisive, the simple breathing ritual to anchor you in the present. You close your eyes. The air moves in, notice it, hold, release. With each breath he reminds you, thought is the seed, feeling is the soil, action is the growth. Then he invites you to name one money belief out loud. It feels awkward, almost intimate. I'm not enough. The admission lands like a stone, but the room holds it without judgment. Good, he says. Now ask, is that true? Where did you learn it? Let it go with the next exhale. You practice a short visualization together, simple, tactile. He guides you to imagine a morning in a home you can afford, a single page of a bank statement with a number that calms you rather than scares you, the sensation of paying bills without constriction. The image is not fantasy, it's detail. The cashmere of a sweater, the sound of a coffee spoon against a mug, small sensory touches that raise your vibration to match the life you want. Then he hands you a practical exercise, a 5-minute daily ritual. Step 1. Set a clear intention, exact amount, purpose, and deadline. Step 2. Identify the emotion that money would bring and let yourself feel it fully for 60 seconds. Step 3. Take one tiny action, an email, a call, moving $5 to a savings envelope. These are not grand gestures, they are repeatable habits that translate energy into momentum. A shadow voice in your head snarls that this won't work. The mentor smiles and teaches you a tool, name the fear, thank it for protecting you, and then choose a different thought. He shows you how to track small wins so your nervous system learns safety with prosperity. You leave the room with your first ritual written on a card, your chest a touch lighter, curiosity replacing despair. If this resonates, give a quiet like and tell me in the comments, what is your biggest financial pain? Stay with me here. Next, we step into the inner trial that tests your new vibration and forces a deeper transformation. The mentor's study smelled of warm tea and old paper, a quiet refuge from the clattering worry outside. Soft afternoon light cut across a desk where a leather journal lay open. The protagonist sat opposite, still carrying the fatigue of months, late nights, unpaid notices, the small, gnawing shame that wakes you at 3 in the morning. The mentor didn't rush to fix the spreadsheet or give a get-rich-quick trick. Instead, she leaned forward, voice steady and kind. "Tell me the story you're telling yourself about money," she said. "I'm not enough," came the answer, small but honest. "I've tried. I fail. Maybe I was never meant for this." The mentor nodded as if receiving a sacred confessional. "That voice is old. It was useful once, but it isn't the part that guides you to abundance. We'll begin by learning to notice it. Name the feeling of fear, shame, frustration, and sit with it without judgment. That awareness loosens its grip." She taught a simple ritual: each morning, before the day's noise, breathe for 3 minutes while placing your hand over your heart. Speak one clear intention aloud, short, present tense, kind: "I am open to steady financial flow." Follow with 3 lines of gratitude, one of them about money, and then one micro-action, a 5-minute task that moves you forward. The mentor watched the protagonist try it once in the room: breath, intention, gratitude. The shoulders softened, the jaw unclenched. "Small consistent choices change the field," she said. "It's vibrational work and practical action, together." They practiced reframing a limiting belief into a present-tense truth, and the protagonist felt a tiny internal shift, like a window opened after a long winter. The mentor also warned about resistance: nights when old stories scream louder, well-meaning friends who feed scarcity, the temptation to look for instant proof. When that happens, she advised, name the sabotage, return to your breath, and take one repeatable step. Consistency builds momentum. Compassion fuels it. Outside, the city moved on, but inside there was a new cadence: calm, focused, expectant. The protagonist left the study with a small card the mentor had written: 3 daily rituals, 1 micro-action habit, and a single sentence to repeat in doubt. If this touched you, tap like and share your struggle. What is your biggest financial pain? Stay with me here. Next, we confront the deeper inner enemy that keeps abundance at bay and learn how to transmute it into steady wealth momentum. The kitchen light is soft, the morning just past dawn. You sit at the table with a mug cooling beside a stack of envelopes: rent, school, the credit card with the tiny printed number that says you are running out of time. The mentor leans on the counter, not preachy, simply steady, like an old oak that has weathered storms. "We begin where you are," she says. Not at some imagined finish line. You listen because the voice knows the map of fear. She guides you through a simple practice: close your eyes, breathe in for 4, out for 6, lengthen the exhale until the tightness behind your ribs loosens. Picture a small light rising in your chest, a warmth no bank statement can command. You can change the climate inside you, she says. Your vibration is like your thermostat, raise it gently. The description is practical and tender: name the exact money story that lives in your head: I'm not enough, money is scarce, I don't deserve more, and speak it aloud until the shame dims under the light of truth. She hands you a pen and a small notebook. Write 2 sentences, she instructs. 1 intention, specific, small, measurable. 1 feeling you want to carry. You write: I will save $50 a week. I will feel calm and capable. These tiny, repeatable actions become rituals: a morning 5-minute gratitude ledger, a weekly automation to move funds, a monthly review where you celebrate one small win. The mentor walks you through visualization that engages the senses: feel the weight of a leather wallet, hear the click of a chair as you sit at a table where choices are relaxed, taste the coffee that accompanies momentum. When fear rises, an old, familiar ache, she doesn't argue with it. Name it, she says. What does fear say? Thank it for protecting you, then invite it to sit beside you, not control the wheel. The scene becomes cinematic: bills on the table, light shifting, a slow smile that comes from the realization that energy and action can commingle. Practical tools meet inner work: micro-actions that build trust, emotional mastery that clears the path. If this lands with you, pause and share. What is your biggest financial pain? Leave a quiet like if you feel seen. There is a next step. The tests that will tempt you back into old stories are coming, and you'll need courage and the practices you've started to keep walking toward prosperity. The room is quiet except for the soft hum of morning and the paper rustle of your journal. Sunlight slices through the blinds, drawing lines across a table cluttered with bills, a cup of coffee gone cold, and a small string of coins you keep as a talisman. The mentor's voice comes close, calm and certain. Name the feeling first. Before the numbers, before the strategy. What do you feel when you think about money? You hesitate, then speak aloud. Fear. Not enough. Shame. He nods, not judging, only pointing the way forward. Good. That's our map. We can only move what we can see. He teaches you a simple morning ritual: 5 minutes of breath, 30 seconds of gratitude, 1 sentence of intention spoken as if it's already true. You cup your hands around the warm mug, inhale, and say, I am opening to steady, honest abundance. The words vibrate differently than last night's angry prayers. Your shoulders loosen. A memory of scarcity thins at the edges. The mentor watches and offers a small correction in tone, in posture. Feel the reality of the sentence. Align your breath with it. This is the work of vibration, matching the inner feeling to the outer aim. Then comes the practical rule: tiny repeatable actions. 15 minutes a day to review your finances, 1 clear number you intend to grow, 1 choice you will protect from impulse. He walks you through a felt visualization, walking into a bright room that represents your future ledger, seeing deposits, hearing the steady click of progress. It's cinematic but grounded. You are not chasing fantasies so much as rehearsing a daily rhythm that rewires belief. The inner trial appears in the form of an old voice, your saboteur, whispering that this is luck, not you. You argue back with facts, small wins, and a ritual pause called the reset breath. In dialogue with yourself and the mentor, shame softens into curiosity. You practice naming the saboteur: scarcity. Naming gives it less power. The mentor smiles. You cannot force wealth, you align with it. That means feeling worthy while doing the work. If this resonates, like the video and tell me, what is your biggest financial pain? Keep watching. Next we will step into the deeper trial where the past tries to reclaim you, and I'll show the exact exercise that breaks its hold. The room holds the soft gold of late afternoon, the mentor's voice like a steady hearth as you settle into the next practice. We will not chase money, she says, leaning forward. We will change the field that calls it to us. You feel the familiar knot of worry, bills, aging parents, that stalled business idea, curl in your chest. The mentor watches without hurry, then guides you through a ritual simple enough to become a muscle. Breathe into the tight place, name the fear aloud: not enough, I'm undeserving, what if I fail, and let each label soften as you exhale. The act of naming loosens its grip. She hands you a small notebook. Every morning, write 3 things wealth already gives you, she instructs. Not future promises, present facts: a warm cup, a phone call from someone who loves you, a skill you've mastered. Feel it in your body. You do it. The first day, the list is short. By the 7th, your handwriting quickens with a steadier pulse. This is the daily alignment: tiny, repeatable actions that raise your vibration a notch. Gratitude, clarity of intention, a 5-minute visualization where money feels like sunlight pouring into your hands. Later, you stand at the kitchen window as she walks you through reframing a money story. When the old voice says you can't, answer with a question: how could I? You try it and feel a crack of possibility. She suggests experiments: price your service honestly for 1 week, move 1 non-essential expense and watch where that energy reallocates. Call 1 mentor and ask 1 direct question. These are not wild leaps but small stakes that build courage. A quiet exchange follows. What if I fail? You ask, throat tight. Then you learn, adjust, and try again with more wisdom. She replies, compassionate. You begin to see failure not as judgment but as data. Momentum accumulates: a client says yes, a debt payment shrinks, a restless night yields a clear idea. Each win rewrites the internal ledger. As the light fades, she leans back and asks, softly, what is the one financial fear you would name right now? If this resonated, leave your answer below, and, if you want to continue, stay with us for the next step, where you'll face the deeper shadow that keeps abundance from landing in your life. The morning light slips through half-closed blinds as you sit at the kitchen table with a mug cooling in your hands. The mentor's voice arrives soft and steady, not from far away but close, like someone leaning across the table. Name what you feel, they say. You close your eyes and the words tumble out: frustration, shame, the tight knot of worry that haunts every monthly bill. The room is ordinary: a stack of envelopes, a laptop with an open spreadsheet, a plant that needs water. But in this ordinary room, a choice is being made. A phone buzzes, an unexpected call from the bank, and your chest tightens. The old story whispers, you are not enough, money is scarce. The mentor's hand rests on the table, grounding. Feel it fully, then shift the word you use, they instruct. From I don't have to I'm learning to receive. Anchor that shift in your body. You breathe, feeling the diaphragm expand, the shoulders drop. The knot loosens. In that small space, something subtle changes, your vibration answers you. You practice a brief ritual, writing a clear intention on a simple index card, 3 lines, present tense, specific and kind. You fold it, place it next to the plant. The mentor watches without judgment and then asks, what one small, repeatable action honors that intention today? You pick up the pen again and write, call the credit counselor, transfer $50 to savings, say thank you for one received paycheck. It is tiny, measurable momentum, an action you can repeat tomorrow, and the next day, until habit becomes habitus. A moment of doubt returns, an old belief surfaces as a memory of failure. The mentor leans in and speaks like a mapmaker. This is the inmost trial, they say. You will be tempted to prove the old story true. Instead, practice curiosity. Ask, what evidence supports abundance, however small? You look around and find it, the unpaid bill now scheduled for a manageable plan, a friend referring a small paid gig, a new idea that feels honest. These are the breadcrumbs. If this landed with you, tap the like below, and tell me in the comments, what is your biggest financial pain right now? Breathe. In the next moment, we will go deeper, confronting the root beliefs that keep money at arm's length and preparing the decisive steps that turn these small wins into steady wealth. The morning light spills through the blinds like a promise as you sit at the kitchen table, palms wrapped around a warm mug. The mentor watches, not rushing, as you draw a line between the life that has been and the life you're learning to create. We don't need big leaps yet, they say softly. We need honest steps. You write one intention, clear, specific, and kind to yourself. You feel both relief and a tremor of doubt. The old story that money is never enough is a voice still in the room. The mentor leans in, not to argue, but to teach you to listen differently. Name that story, they coach. You speak it out loud, and hearing it shrinks its power. Small rituals become anchors. 5 minutes of focused breath, a gratitude list that finishes with prosperity already present, a tiny daily action, sending one email, opening one book, calling one person. Each action is a signal to the universe and to your body, you are available for abundance. The world responds in subtle ways, a warm email arrives, a friend offers a lead, a notification that nudges your confidence. You notice how your chest opens, the tension around your jaw softens, and your energy rises a notch. That rise is vibration, tend to it like a garden. Water it with praise, not with panic. Then a sharper test. A past decision resurfaces, a failed investment, a business apology you never made, and shame flares. You want to hide. The mentor's voice steadies you. This is the inner trial, they remind you. It's not punishment, it's a gate. You imagine the gate labeled with the old belief and see that the key has always been your attention. You place attention on choice instead of blame. You forgive, then redirect energy into learning and small corrective action. The gate opens. You begin to track what shifts, mood, opportunities, cash flow, the steadiness of your attention. These metrics are simple, tangible proof that alignment matters. And as you collect proof, old fears lose credibility. If this resonates, leave a comment. What is your biggest financial pain? Like what you hear, and if you want to keep building this practice together, consider subscribing so you won't miss the next exercise. Ahead, the journey asks you to claim new commitments, and that challenge will change everything. Morning light fills the kitchen as you sit with a cup of coffee, phone open to the budget you once avoided. The numbers no longer sting, they're just information. A soft knock at the door, your mentor, older now only in years, offers a half smile and a notebook with tiny, deliberate entries: gratitude, intention, 3 small actions for the day. Remember, they say, leaning in, wealth is a habit as much as it is a belief. You trace the neat handwriting and feel a quiet steadiness take root in your chest. Outside the window, the street hums with ordinary life. Inside, you rehearse a short ritual: breathe in abundance, breathe out lack, name 3 things you already own that make you wealthy beyond money: health, time with loved ones, skills you've earned. For the first time in months, the panic that used to rise in your throat fades into a manageable ripple. You smile, not at the numbers yet, but at your willingness to show up. Later, at the dining table, your partner joins you. What changed? They ask, curiosity softening into hope. You describe the tiny actions: an automatic transfer to savings the day after payday, a weekly 10-minute review where you celebrate progress instead of tallying failures, a boundary you set that lets you say no to impulse spending. Small is sustainable, you say aloud, and you can hear how much you believe it now. Days become weeks. The bank balance responds slowly but unmistakably. Small victories accumulate: a surprise refund, a client who pays on time, a recurring expense trimmed. More meaningful is the internal shift: anxiety becomes information, guilt becomes strategy. When an old scarcity story surfaces, you treat it like a weather system passing through: observe, label, and let it move on. You journal feelings instead of letting them run the account. One evening, standing on the porch as the sun sets, your mentor places a hand on your shoulder and asks, "Do you remember who you were before fear wrote your story?" Tears come, not from shame but relief. You laugh softly and answer, "I do." If this resonates with you, tap like and share below. What is your biggest financial pain right now? Subscribe quietly to stay with us. In the final step, we'll weave these practices into a daily plan that holds your abundance steady. The morning light slides across the kitchen table where you sit, a cup cooling beside an open notebook. Outside, a neighbor's dog barks, ordinary, steady life, and inside, something quietly different hums, a new confidence that feels like a low, patient song in your chest. You close your eyes and remember the mentor's voice, warm and sure: wealth begins with a decision, then with daily choices that honor that decision. You breathe in, naming one small victory from yesterday, then another. Each breath is a promise, each memory a stepping stone back to steady momentum. In your mind you replay the trials you've overcome, the confrontations with fear and old stories. They no longer loom like towering walls, they have become doors you learn to open. You speak aloud, softly but firmly: "I deserve wealth. I am aligning my days to receive it." The words settle in the room like sunlight. You feel the tension around money relax, less frantic, more like a patient river that will carry you if you step into its flow. You remember the rituals: the 3-minute morning alignment, the emotional check-in before decisions, the tiny action that compounds: one call, one budget tweak, one intentional purchase. Each small act is not insignificant, it is compound interest on your courage. You see your future self, calm, capable, generous, and you let that image guide the choice you make next. There is a final gift the journey offers: permission. Permission to accept abundance without apology, to define wealth not only in dollars but in time, dignity, and freedom. You stand, close the notebook, and leave the house differently, shoulders back, pace measured. Life responds. Opportunities that once missed you now arrive in alignment with your vibration. If this resonated, share one honest thing below. What is your biggest financial pain right now? Your comment could be the brave step someone else needs to take. If you found these practices useful, like this video and subscribe to keep walking this path together. More guidance, gentle rituals, and practical prompts await as you continue bringing home your abundance.